Dove. Dove. I mean, I didn't know Dove before the project.
Dove brings a validity to the game because that's what he knows. He knows games. He really does.
I mean, he's the type of guy you meet. You say, can I take you out for some coffee, you know, buy you a donut. He's just that type of guy. I mean, who the hell knows what he's talking about half the time, but...
Dove, I've never seen him pick up a book. Never, not once. He doesn't pick up books, he doesn't read them. I don't know, but like the guy knows everything.
He's just it.
Years ago, the Jewish people mourned the death of Rabbi Moses Maimonides, the illustrious Rambam. It was Maimonides who cut the precious diamond known as the 13 roots of the Jewish creed. During this octocentennial year, a group of enterprising university students turned to a mysterious etching from the Cairo Geniza to create a mind-bending challenge of faith for the 21st century. The name of the game, CREDO 13.
Welcome to CREDO 13. I'm Michael Kegel. The seventh root belief of the Maimonidean Creed is that Moses was, and is the greatest of all the prophets, and possibly greater than that even.
It's interesting. German Jews of the 19th and early 20th centuries used to refer to themselves, and I'm not saying this is Maimonides, as German citizens of the Mosaic faith. Well, for Maimonides, Judaism is the Mosaic faith.
The Torah says that no prophet like Moses has arisen, which Maimonides understands to mean not just has arisen in the past, but will ever arise.
The greatest prophet of all prophets before him, and subsequent and later on all the time.
It's right at the end of the Torah. No prophet will ever arise as great as Moses.
And the reason this is very, very important is because, over the course of history, there was always this question of subsequent prophets coming to undermine the prophetic message of earlier prophets.
If you have a greater prophet than Moses, then a greater prophet can come and give a new Torah.
If Moses was simply a prophet, so it's possible for another prophet to come by and say, okay, well, from now on, we're to do A. I know Moses said to do B, but now we're doing A.
The fact that Moses is the greatest prophet means that if someone else comes and says that I received a prophecy, well, if someone comes and says I received a prophecy, now we no longer have to keep Shabbos or keep it on the eighth day, he's not to be accepted automatically. And even if he comes and says, I'm greater than Moses, in which case you might think you should listen to him, he can't be listened to because it's a matter of basic belief set down by Maimonides that no one can ever be greater than Moses.
But that, of course, is a direct influence of the claims of Islam, where the prophet is not Moses, but is Muhammad.
In the Islamic world, they were hearing how Muhammad was such a great prophet. Muhammad, Jews might be led to think, well, yeah, Moses was a great prophet, Muhammad's a greater prophet, let's go to Islam.
To be a Muslim means to deny the perfection of Mosaic prophecy, to deny the perfection of the Torah as the revelation of all revelations.
Or even Christianity, if they didn't want to accept the notion of Jesus as God, perhaps Jesus was a greater prophet.
So, for example, Moses brought the Torah to the Jewish people. And Moses clearly taught that the Torah is eternal. And Jesus came and asserted that the laws were to be suspended.
Christians got to regard Christianity as an improvement on Judaism. If it's not an improvement on Judaism, so why not become a Jew?
Now, the question is this. Is it now a contest between Moses and Jesus? Who is the greater prophet?
If you want to make a claim upon me, that is, you're a Christian and you say to me, well, you should convert to Christianity, then I have to show you that Christianity, which came out of Judaism, was not an improvement upon Judaism, but was a dilution of Judaism.
So what is going to be it's a contest between Moses and Jesus. Who can do a greater miracle? So Moses splits the Red Sea, and Jesus walks on water, and we have a contest. Hardly seems to be the right way to settle this dispute.
However, if he's more than just another prophet, if he's the prophet of all time, and therefore his word is unchallenged. His word can never be challenged. His word cannot be contested. And he's truly the agent of HaKadosh Baruch Hu Hashem. So it makes his leadership more robust.
So Maimonides has to establish the fact that Moshe is different because his prophecy is qualitatively different.
Maimonides lays down the principle that Moses is a category unto himself.
Well, it's not just that Moshe is quantity, had a little bit more prophetic power, he had to be qualitatively different, and that's what's presented in the Talmud as the concept of Aspecloria Me'ira, that every other prophet had a sort of cloudy or lens.
It's like seeing through not through a glass per se, but opaque. You know, they didn't see things as clearly as Moses.
Moshe had a perfect lens.
It was unequaled in its clarity. It was unequaled in its precision.
He saw things clearer than other prophets.
Moshe and Rabbeinu had this vision, had this clarity, had this teaching of Hashem through his nevuah.
Nevuah, his level of prophetic experience, was beyond that of any other prophet.
And Moses' prophecy, whenever he wanted to have prophecy, he had prophecy. Moses was a prophet whoever he wanted. And they had to only times when they were sleeping, and they could only when God chose to give them prophecy, they had prophecy. Where Moses could just ask for prophecy and he would have prophecy. And that's a profound distinction. Isaiah, the prophet, couldn't do that. None of the prophets could just have a prophecy. They would have to wait for Hashem to give them the prophecy.
And therefore he is Av L'Nevim.
Avia Nevi'im.
The father of all prophets.
The father of prophets.
The father of the prophets.
The teacher of all.
The prophet of all prophets.
Moshe Rabbeinu's nevuah was all comprehensive.
His prophecy is of a clarity. His prophecy is of a precision. That if any other prophet comes to dispute the prophecy of Moses, we can assume with a certainty that that prophet is a false prophet and Moses is a true prophet.
That is the principle, though, that Moses' prophecy will never be superseded.
It's as if Moses operated on a different frequency. In our Credo drama number 7, Joe opens with a very unusual structure, the logic of which she alone understands. And yet, by the end of the round, it will prove to be untouchable, as Billy discovers.
I need a new radio.
You still listen to radio?
I only listen to CDs.
Radio is too frenetic for me.
Depends what radio you listen to.
I've never noticed much difference between radios.
Most radios are pretty much the same.
So it doesn't depend on the radio.
But there's one radio that's unique.
Why is it so different?
It works on a different frequency.
A totally different frequency?
Once you hear the sound quality on this radio...
I don't listen to radio. I only listen to CDs.
This is better than CDs.
How can it be better than CD?
I'm telling you, this is a unique radio.
Different frequency?
Completely different.
Credo.
How does a 12th century creed become a challenge of faith for the 21st century? This is Credo 13. The seventh principle of Maimonides' creed. The prophecy of Moses is unique.
This belief that Moses is totally unique in his prophetic message really is the principle which places the Torah on firm footing for all eternity.
Moses is the recipient of the revelation of the Torah.
The written Torah, the 5 books of Moses, being the ultimate divine communication. Face to face, God spoke to Moses.
Pel per daber bo, I speak to mouth, I see him face to face. Moses, he says in the next principle, was told word for word what he was to say, what was to go, whereas the other prophets formulated in their own language.
Moshe is simply writing down what he's told rather than, so to speak, repeating the material in his own accent.
Because a lot of his prophecy was about the definition of Torah. And the subsequent prophecies was about the reinforcement of observance of Torah. Not so much the definition of Torah.
So the superiority of Moses' prophecy lies in the superiority of the 5 books of Moses in terms of clarity of revelation to all later documents.
In that way that he was able to transmit Torah through his prophecy, as opposed to everyone else who was just telling us predictions and that we have to be obedient to Hashem's word and giving us moral inspiration and to inspire to be high level of morality, high level of ethics. Moshe was telling us specifically what the sins and what are the mitzvahs through the level of prophecy that he had.
Which means that Shoftim, Shmuel, Yeshaya, Eov, all these books that some of us make a living teaching and studying really are contingent. Were it not for certain historical circumstances, we wouldn't need it. The idea of God coming to Har Sinai and opening up a relationship with the people, addressing the people, that would be needed whether or not they were sinners. So that is the essence of the revelation at Har Sinai.
The Torah at Sinai is to have effect through the generations. So what are the factors that necessitate this event having eternal significance? So it must be that there cannot be any other subsequent event that is the same.
The revelation of all revelations is the Torah Moshe, the Mosaic Torah, the Torah given to Moses.
Moshe's prophecy was a completely different nature, and therefore that prophecy will last forever.
If we don't believe that, then we have no real manual of life anymore.
Is there a sense in which Moses and the Torah are one and the same thing? Imagine a radio station which always plays the right song without there even being a DJ to choose that song. Think about it.
So what kind of songs does this radio play?
Just the best.
By whose standards? When I was a kid, I wanted to be a DJ.
This radio doesn't use DJs.
How's that possible?
It's just between the radio and the sound waves.
That's weird.
My best friend's a DJ.
For what station?
I'm not sure.
Is she good?
She's really good at matching the right song to the right mood.
This radio does that automatically.
I don't get it. Is it a radio or a radio station?
I told you, it's both. This radio works on a unique frequency. No other radio can pick it up.
Where'd you see this advertised? Yeah, it sounds really suspicious.
It's all over.
This radio is popular?
It transmits music like nothing you've ever heard before.
Well, why haven't I heard of it?
This ad campaign is very humble.
But they could be making a killing.
I think they feel the radio's attributes will speak for themselves.
Clear? All right, let's try another metaphor.
If you cut the grass for a living...
Why would you do that?
Something just opened up.
In the competitive landscaping industry?
There's an opportunity.
Jump on
If you're cutting the grass for a living...
If you call that living.
And someone hires the company you work for...
Is this a math question? I'm not doing any math.
I'm just wondering.
Yes?
If you're cutting the grass...
Which is what you do for a living?
Right. If you're cutting the grass...
Because someone hired the company you work for.
But who do you work for?
Right, because you were hired by the company.
Which means you work for them.
But you're doing a service for the person.
Which means you work for him.
So who do you work for?
That's what I'm asking.
Whom does Moses work for? God? The Jews? And how much does he make an hour?
In writing down the Torah, Moshe's role is, when we use the word passive, he is the agent.
The agent through which Torah was given, delivered to the Jewish people through God.
The agent, if you will, to bring the Torah to mankind.
He's the locus of revelation. It comes through him.
God speaks as opposed to the prophet speaking. What that means, I can't tell you.
He's not the spokesman of God, but the agent.
Moses is the double agent. He's appointed by God, he's sent by God, but then his original mission is to get the people to Mount Sinai, and basically it's like the ladder to get them, then we kick away the ladder, then everybody will become prophets. Remember Moses' word that all the people, Mi'ten kol ha'am Hashem neviim, ki iten Hashem et rucho aleim, that God would place his spirit in all the people. Of course, the people here, at least according to some of the rabbis, 2 of the 10 commandments.
God's voice is heard, by the Jewish people in the case of the first two commandments.
This is where God is speaking directly to the people.
They can't take it. They're scared out of their wits. So they tell Moses, all right, so now they appoint Moses as their agent. So Judaism becomes localized in Mosaic prophecy, which is the Torah.
Insofar as the Torah then represents the direct communication from God, the prophetic agency through which the Torah is communicated has to be different from that of other Nevi'im.
Moshe did not just reach the highest potential a human being could reach, which is what some people say and so forth. No, it was that Moshe was, because he was in a unique position, he was uniquely qualified and he was an exceptional human being, was taken in to do a task that would not be repeated.
And therefore one does have to argue for the superiority of the prophecy of Moses, because Moses is in place of the Jewish people and is there with them and for them and to them. And I think that is the question, not so much the personality of Moses.
I had no doubt that Moshe was a great person and was deserving of being in the exalted position he was. But the thing I'm trying to say is that when someone grows and someone develops within Torah, there's a goal. There's an objective that he's attempting to reach. And what occurred along this objective to reach was that God said, wait a second, in this particular time and history, for this individual, I'm changing the path.
There's no PhD in prophecy that one could achieve. It just doesn't exist. You have to have certain qualities of virtue, of course, as the Rambam describes with Moshe Rabbeinu. Moshe Rabbeinu also all the miracles that he did, but because he divined his actions to the point, then God chose him, and obviously choosing him, God had to prepare him.
He went into a state that enabled him to reach a level of prophecy that enabled him to be the voice of God in a revelation that was absolutely unique, in order to establish an eternal doctrine or eternal statements of law to initiate the process that this world really is about. So Moshe went into a unique state for a unique service that is not only not going to be repeated, it is willed by God that will not be repeated. It is not repeated, and this I'm projecting, I don't know if Maimonides would say this, but I'm projecting, is not repeated because it is because that's not the purpose of creation. The purpose of creation is to have this initial revelation and then allow what is the outcome of that revelation to develop.
So it's very much Mosaism as distinct from Moses.
Joe is still playing idiosyncratically, but it seems to be working. As the other players grow increasingly distracted, they come very close to the question of all questions.
No sports? None.
What would the world look like today if Wayne Gretzky had taken up figure skating as a child?
What's with guys in spectator sports?
They like it so much, why don't they play?
I know. Figure skating's different.
Yeah,
Figure skating's more of an art than a sport.
It has a certain grace about it.
Not like baseball, which is so awkward. And all these basketball players are treated like adults.
I've always wondered about professional athletes.
They're basically the best man has to offer.
Physically, at least.
But what do you think they'd be doing?
If they weren't playing sports?
Yeah. I mean, do you think they'd just be wasting away?
I mean, like, would they be useless?
Or average?
Or would they excel at some other task?
Like farming?
Or carpentry?
Or figure skating? They'd probably be good at figure skating.
Instead, they're wasting their
playing
lives.
sports. When they could be figure skating. CREDO. Nice.
There is no doubt that Moshe is a great man.
For Maimonides, Moses was the most perfect being.
There's no doubt about that.
Is he a superhuman figure?
There's no doubt about the fact that Moshe is a model in many ways.
I wouldn't use the term superhuman, really. It's just that he is able to reach the ultimate level, the highest level, the clearest vision of a human.
There's no doubt that that there's an aspect of aspiring to be like Moshe. In terms of attempting to develop and grow like Moshe did. The question is, what's the final end product?
At the moment we accept that Moses was the teacher of Klal Yisrael and the agent through which Torah was given, delivered to the Jewish people through God, his role as the leader of the Jewish people. And therefore, the subsequent therefore is the role model.
And there's a certain amount of debate on this. I'll give you an example of what I mean by this. When you think of the ideal that you want to be as a human being, who is the model you will choose? So you would think that the first model you'll choose is Moshe. Say, I want to be the greatest prophet. I want to be like Moshe.
Because Moses is the most exalted human being, the only prophet. No prophet was like him.
Rarely is Moshe really presented in that way, even though Maimonides actually does use Moshe in that regard as greatness like Moshe. But the fact is that usually the figures that are much more presented as models are Avraham Avinu, Avraham our forefather, Yaakov Avinu, Jacob our forefather, or David HaMelech, or King David.
There's a profound difference between the prophecy of Moses and the prophecy of the patriarchs, even forget about, and subsequently the other prophets as well.
And one of the clearest examples is in the case of celibacy, where Moshe ultimately reaches a level where he becomes fully celibate, where he totally separates from his wife. And then you have a raging debate. Is that really the idea? The only reason that Judaism does not advocate celibacy is because it really doesn't believe everyone can be on the level of Moshe, so don't try to do something you can't do because it'll just cloud your mind and cause you tremendous grief and you'll miss the major point? Or is it that Moshe is celibate because he had a task that was absolutely unique and therefore not to be a model for anyone else?
And that is why it is important to emphasize that the Nevuah of Moshe is inherently different from that of other Nevi'im.
To understand God's will in this world and what his objective is in this world, he only wanted a revelation of Sinai at one particular point in history. Therefore, what Moshe did was unique to that point in history. He's not the model for us today.
He's the locus of revelation. It comes through him. He's the one who brings it.
But it could have been anyone then. I mean, is there nothing?
Well, maybe it could be anyone, but it was Moses.
Keep building the faith with Credo 13. Join us next week for the next root belief of the Maimonidean Creed. Revelation took place at Sinai. Stay tuned for the men in black hats on Messages up next.
I expect some difference, from console to console, but, you tell me how Luigi grew 5 inches, from Mario 1 to Mario 2. It just doesn't make any sense. In the first one, he's a dead ringer for his brother. And then by the second one, he's shopping at the big and tall store. Does that make, doesn't make any sense.